Hello and welcome to Elizabeth's Craft Room. Today we're going to make a card which is great to use with scraps of designer series paper. I was inspired to do this by this card that's in the big catalogue on page 110, and I liked this starburst effect. I have seen some tutorials online of how to do it with sort of fixed pieces, sizes of card, but do you know what? I wanted to use up my scraps. I didn't want them all even. And I had lots of scraps. I've been making paper samplers. This is old ones, but I've been making paper samplers of all our new lovely designer paper. So I've got lots of bits left over of different sizes. So this paper here is the one I'm just about to use. Okay, so, just to say, this one's, the paper is etc. And the one that we're going to use today, I'm going to show you, is Venetian Romance, it's called. Absolutely beautiful. So what we need to do, first of all, is to start with some triangles. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm just going to take all my little bits that were left over from when I've cut these. So all of them are 3 inches long. And then these were cut on centimetres. Just that's because that's what I've actually cut off. But this one, if I give you all in inches, this one's about 2 inches, so about 3 by 2. But the whole point of this is you don't have to measure. The whole point of this is we're going to be doing this with all sorts of scraps. So as I say, this one's about 1.25 inches, and all I'm doing then is lining that point and that point up on my trimmer and then running my blade from point to point. So I get 2 little triangles out of my rectangle. So I would say just go into your scrap box and make some triangles and have a go. See what works for you. So these are going to be little skinny ones. That's just moved. I need a magnetic plate now for my doesn't quite work. Magnetic plates for framelits are excellent. I don't think it's going to quite work on paper. Stay still. There we go. So there's all my pretty paper, just so gorgeous. And I'm going to need a few extras, so I'm going to do this just with vanilla cardstock. And once again, no particular sizes. And what I would suggest is just lay them down. Once you've got all your triangles ready, lay them down on your piece of card. Make sure they fit. If you need a couple of extras, you can always cut a couple of extras before you start sticking. So there's all my triangles. So I've ended up with 4 slightly larger ones and 2 small ones of the vanilla. 4 little skinny ones and about 6 in the designer paper. So the next thing I'm going to do is to put some texture onto my bigger triangles. So I'll just bring my big shot in. Sorry, not my bigger triangles, on my vanilla triangles. So I'm just going to run these through, and it doesn't matter what design you fancy. These little skinny ones I'm putting through. I can find my plate with the little narrow pieces. They're just so pretty. I don't know if you can see that texture coming through on there. Whoops. And it's off. Just try and catch it in the light. And then I'm going to use, here it is, my perfect polka dot folder for the larger triangles. So I'm just going to lay those down. And pop those through. And we're done with the big shot. Okay. So I will give you the measurements of the layers that I'm using. This is a standard UK card. So these in inches are going to be just under 6 inches, just over 4 inches. I love how grid paper has inches on one side now and metric on the other, so I can measure things for you in inches. So 3.5 by 4.5 is my vanilla layer. And then the next layer I'm putting down is 3 3/4 by 4 3/4 inches. And that's just going to lay on the top of my standard card. Right, so the next thing, some Tombow. I want to completely cover this piece with my Tombow. So I'm going all over, and then I'm going to take the spready end, that is the technical term, there we go, and just spread that adhesive around because I want every little bit of that covered, and then off we go. The only thing you want to make sure is you don't lay it down with any of the vanilla underneath showing. So I'm just going to take that right to the edge and put that roughly in the middle. And then we're going to build up. Now, as I said, if you're not really sure whether you've got the right number of triangles or how it's going to look or how you want to lay it in terms of which way up you're having your pieces and what order they're going to go in, what I would suggest is before you put your glue on, just have a little play. Lay some down, see how it looks, and then you can see whether you're going to need to cut any more. So I've just done one, so I'm hoping I'm going to be right, but we might be stopping and doing one. So yeah, most pointy bit into the middle. And if it doesn't quite fit, you can always lay the final one piece on top of the other. So actually I'm going to go with that side there. And I'm going to put another DSP one just there. Oh, now I've got a few skinny ones to go in, so I'm going to put that one there. That one there. A little skinny one there, and one more little skinny one there. So I can't see any of my edge pieces when I flip that over. So now I'm going to take my scissors, and I didn't use, I think I've got one embossed piece of vanilla left. So by flipping it over, I'm now going to trim off the excess. And so now I've got more scraps in those colours, just smaller ones. And then when I flip that over, isn't that pretty? And because you're using designer series paper from Stampin' Up, you just know it's all going to match. That looks lovely. So we're going to layer this up. I'm going to pop some Tombow on the back there and pop that up. And some on the back here. I always say to my ladies, use your framelits or your or just a pair of scissors and actually cut out. If you're not going to use that back piece, cut it out from underneath. So before you stick it, obviously, onto your top layer, just gut that piece and you've got a little bit of cardstock in that colour to use later on. Never waste. And then I've got some other little pieces here, another piece of vanilla, and I'm going to stamp a greeting from Sassy Salutations, one of my favourite greeting stamp sets because you don't have to stamp it straight. Pretty. And then I'm going to do a little flag on this. Easiest way to do a flag end, I'm sure I've shown you this before, is up into the middle and in from the sides. Just so simple. And what I want to do is to layer that up onto a piece of the crisps cantaloupe. And, oh, a bit of glue there where we don't want it. So I'm actually just going to turn that round, because I don't want to be rubbing the glue off. There we go, that's better. And then I'm going to just trim round. Can you see there is a tiny weeny little spider coming down from my camera here? The place is alive. Got it. Right, okay. And there's my little thank you banner. I'm going to pop that up with a couple of dimensionals. Just put it on there. And then I just think that needs a little extra something. And so I'm going to use one of these. They are called In Colour Boutique Details. Sorry, obviously my eyes are starting to go. It must be that time of the day. They're called the In Colour Boutique Details. And I think I'm just going to pop one up right at the end there and use the dimensional just to pop that over the edge of my flag. So super easy, super quick. Have a look in the catalogue for inspiration of how they've done theirs in the catalogue. And here are my two examples. I would love to see what you do with your scraps of designer series paper. So if you put them on your blog, send me a link or send me a picture on an email. I'd love to see them. Thanks for coming to Elizabeth's Craft Room today. I'm off to go and rescue that spider and show him the garden.